follow me when the sky starts to change. Yeah, we won't be afraid. We'll never be the same again.
Entertainment of professional wrestling. So allow us to be the voices inside of your head as we go through the wrestling events of the evening, give our thoughts and predictions on what's to come, and provide an experience inclusive to all you nerds out there. So grab your steel chair, yell for the table, get put through an experience unlike any other. Brought to you, of course, by Anima We Studios. This is the Weebs of the Ring podcast. Happy Monday to you all. We're near the end of 2025, a year with many ups and some very, very low downs. But hey, we're ending the year. We're going to be starting 2026 off hot. On Friday, we got a 3-hour SmackDown, but that's going to be on Friday. We'll deal with that little chestnut when we get to it. We've got Monday Night Raw tonight, the final Raw, the final WWE. Well, no, correction, because we got NXT tomorrow. So the final main roster product for the WWE happened tonight, and it was a good show. It was a good show. Had a couple good matches, title change that we'll talk about here in just a little bit. But yeah, we're back in action, getting back into the groove of things. And if anything, this is the season 2 finale of the Weebs of the Ring. On Friday, we will be starting season 3, and yeah, it's gonna be a fun time had here because we'll be entering the road to WrestleMania, getting everything ready for the Royal Rumble, and just starting off the year very nice. And I do want to appreciate everybody who has been supporting the channel. I know it's been a very busy time of the year for everybody. We've had some short form come out, so thank you so much for supporting that and liking that, checking that out, and all that. And stay tuned for 2026 because we're going to be bringing you even more content, even more greatness from the Weebs of the Ring. But with all that out of the way, we always appreciate our returning listeners, our returning viewers for checking us out. But if you're new around these parts, you're wondering just who the Weebs of the Ring are exactly. Well, of course, you've got two of your lovely co-hosts tonight. First and foremost, I am your reigning, defending, undisputed Universal Heavyweight Champion of the world, Watkins here. I'm going to be your guide through the wrestling events of the evening and giving my thoughts and opinions on the matter as we talk about everything. Unfortunately, our legend Vash is not here tonight. He had to deal with the Rock's end of the year party and all that. He had to clean up a little bit and everything. Had to make sure all those pebbles were picked up, make sure Maui's hook was put on the mantle and all that. And of course, sending a love letter to Bill Goldberg. But as always, we have the genius of the mat himself here. He's going to help us process some of these stories that happened tonight. I'm not going to lie, not a lot of story progression happening with some of them, but that's fine. A lot of them are going to be kind of meeting their end or their next chapter next week. But ladies and gentlemen, it is Drop This Box here. Drop, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm a little under the weather. If you could tell by the tone of my voice, really wasn't expecting to feel this way, but it just happened out of the blue. So I'm hoping that, this goes by quickly. I did have like 3 cups of green tea, so I should be fine. I'm still able to move around and do things and do this and own my own videos on my channel and still function and do a lot of things around the house. So it's probably not too serious. And, considering I've been losing a lot of weight, my immune system's probably a lot better since I've been really keeping up with my health and then everything. So that's also something to factor in. But yeah, like you said, this is the final Raw of the year. And I would have to agree. This episode of Raw, not that much really going on. I know me and you expected a lot more towards the end, which of course we'll dive into once we tackle the topic that we normally start when it comes to our shows, the headline story. So we kind of switch things a little bit here, just in case you guys are new viewers that happen to tune into the show. But yeah, not too much to really talk about here, which, if I'm going to be 100% honest with you, sort of expected it. But here we are.
Yeah, I can't lie. I kind of expected it as well. It seems like they're very much loading up next week's show, which is Stranger Stranger Things themed.
Yeah.
So, maybe you know what? Maybe you guys should have better takes when it comes to Stranger Things. That way, Drop doesn't have to get sick because of it. Because I blame you. I blame you, you Byler stands out there. And if you know, you know.
Mm.
But we're not going to be harping on Stranger Things. You're going to hear us talk about that on the other Animal Weed Studio channels. You can find all those links in the description. And of course, as always, be sure to leave a like because every like gives our lovely puppy dogs their treats. Sydney just finished her bone, or yeah, she just finished her bone, so she's about to lay down right now and listen to us talk about Monday Night Raw, which again it was a good show. It was a good show, just not a lot of storyline progression going on throughout, like we said. So we're going to start, of course, with our headline story. The biggest talking point coming out of this show, or at least one of them, being what happened in our main event scene. And lo and behold, we had a world tag title match. It wasn't just a Vision tag title match. No, 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 no. We actually had the Usos taking on AJ Styles and Dragon Lee for the world tag team titles. And I'm going to be upfront. This was a really good match, a really great tag team match. The Usos are locked in a little bit. I mean, yeah, we had the storyline stuff going on with like Jay kind of losing a little bit of his own confidence, but Jimmy's brother's there. He's gonna lift him up. We even get a good promo segment beforehand in the back where Jimmy just kind of hypes up Jay a little bit, saying, "Hey, you know what? I need you locked in tonight. We're better together as a team rather than separate. Let's go out there. I need main event Jay with me. You're a former world champion. Don't let anything put you down right now." So I still feel like we're still planting some seeds for the Jey Uso heel turn, but it seems like we're going to be prolonging that a little bit, which is fine. Okay. Because I think we could still do maybe a little bit more when it comes to like Jay turning heel and all that, because he's still very much over with the crowd. I mean, they're not even doing the Usos theme anymore. They're just going out to Jay's theme of helping people yeet and all that. But again, a fantastic match between both teams, because the Usos are one of the greatest tag teams probably in pro wrestling, if I'm being honest. I mean,
Hmm.
they are really that good. But of course, they're facing AJ Styles and Dragon Lee, who are really good wrestlers in their own right, whether they're in a tag team or they're in singles competition. Fantastic wrestlers. And again, this main event was really good. I'm really hoping Dragon Lee's good off of that suicide dive he did to Jimmy, because he kind of landed very awkwardly on that announce table, but it seems like he's fine. So hopefully he stays fine after that. But yeah, so I think what we were alluding to earlier with like the show ending and everything was, I kind of thought that Jay would have his heel turn tonight to kind of end the year off on a big note, like a big talking point besides them winning the titles. So don't get me wrong, I think that is, a big headline to have for WWE, because I think that, yeah, commentary was saying that they were as a team 9-time champions, which is big in its own right. But you would think we would do something a little bit more when it comes to like some sort of storyline progression when it comes to the Usos. But I guess the storyline progression is them winning the tag titles together for a 9th time. So yeah, like there's a little part of me that's just like, okay, well, maybe we could have done a little bit more to end the show, but regardless, fantastic match. Great celebration for them afterwards. And I mean, I'm not highly upset with it. Like, I'm not going to sit here and yell bloody murder down the screen and into this endless void that is the internet, being like, oh, I hate this. Why did they do this? Blah, blah, blah.
Mm.
That's not me tonight. I'm very chill with this. I'm happy with this. I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes and who's going to take the titles off of them, whether it's somebody from the Vision. We saw the Creeds earlier with like they were in the background during a backstage segment with AJ, Dragon Lee and Javon Evans when they got a confrontation from the Americanos. But that's cool, that's fine, that's neat, whatever. I'm just excited to see what happens, because hopefully the tag divisions on both brands can now do more and excel more and be better and be greater, because tag team wrestling can be great. You just got to let them do the thing. So I think I've rambled along a lot already so far. Drop, what do you think of the match, the aftermath, the storyline progression going forward? What do you think of all this, as the Usos now are 9-time tag team champions?
I am very happy to see the Usos together because one thing I will say, and maybe actually I don't think I'm the only one that probably feels this way, but
Mhm.
I honestly enjoy the Usos a lot more together than having them separate because I feel like things hit a lot harder when they're together because we're so used to seeing them do the tag team thing for the longest time. And there was always
Mhm.
so many good stories that came out of it. There was always so many good matches that came out of it. Like the chemistry is there. They work very well as a tag team. That's pretty much their bread and butter. So if I have to say anything, I felt like the decision that creative made when they decided to make them a tag team again was very smart because that's where they excel, in my opinion. Like, don't get me wrong, they're gonna have their moments here and there where they win like a singles title or something along the lines of that. But at the same time, like I just said, this is their bread and butter. This is where they excel. This is where I want to see them. And yeah, congratulations for them being 9-time tag team champions. That's a big accomplishment. They earned it. The match quality was there. I had no issues with the match at all whatsoever. I thought it was a great main event. It delivered on all fronts. There was great wrestling because you got four guys in there that are really good doing their thing. And you got a veteran like AJ Styles and Dragon Lee also alongside him as well that always give us great performances whenever they're put in said situation. So, that's the cherry on top. You just have a lot of good wrestling all together. Like you just take all four of those guys, you roll them up into a ball, and you create magic like that. So that's something I can
Mhm.
appreciate. But I will agree with what you said as well. I did expect something a little bit more out of this match. Like, sure, you want to have a little celebration moment towards the end of the episode. That's okay. It made sense for it to play out that way. But at the same time, it's like it just felt like there was extra room and it even ended a lot earlier than it normally does. Like it ended around like 10-20ish March. Like I'm not
Mhm.
entirely sure, but at least from my point of view when I was watching the show, it ended around like 10:20 something. And it's normally like either 10:30, close to 10:40, 10:45, wherever the case may be, because the time is very flexible on there when it comes to Netflix. They can pretty much do what they want there. But it just felt like there was something there even after the match
Mhm.
happened. Like I kept looking at Jay. I do feel like maybe there's something in the works with him. Maybe we're just looking a little bit too much into it. But at the same time, they make it feel like there could have been like something popping out at us. Because when I think of ending off the year with the show, especially since this is the last Raw of the year, I expect something a little bit more outside of like a celebration and then that's it. Like I sort of expect like some sort of lead way into the new year. Maybe they're waiting for
Mhm.
a significant moment to build to that. Maybe that's what the goal is. Maybe that's what they do on the 5th or sometime in January leading up to the Royal Rumble because we do know they got to start prepping themselves for the Royal Rumble. Like I said, the Elimination Chamber, WrestleMania around the corner. So maybe things come together around then, but I will say I did expect a little bit different of an ending when it came to tonight's show. Like I just had that vibe where I'm like, okay, that's it. And then I saw
Mhm.
the fade to the black screen, Netflix saying thank you for watching. I'm like, oh, okay, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, we got the big old ta-dum kind of thing at the end. It's just like, oh, all right, that's it. All right, cool, neat. Yeah, we're celebrating, we're eating everywhere. Which, yeah, again, we're trying not to take away from the moment because again, like we both said, the match was awesome. It's just there was just that little bit that's just like, okay, what more can we do to just end the year to like get us pushing forward to 2026? Nothing. Okay, well, I guess that's just the story of 2025 then. Just a lot of expectations that led to not much. But again, match was great. I feel like we'll do a little bit more. I think maybe in January, maybe next week or something, and we'll allude to something or push for something. I would assume maybe the Vision gets involved with taking the titles from the Usos because I mean we got to have the Vision looking strong after all this, and maybe I don't know what they're going to do with another certain mid card title, which I'll have that question for later on. Maybe we'll finally have another faction that holds all the gold again because I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of a sucker for that. I love when a faction like has all the gold. Like Judgment Day had it back in the day for a bit. Uh the Bloodline had it for ages and all that. Like it just it's a good power move to have for a for a faction to have, just having all the titles like that. So we'll have to wait and see with that. Again, we got the Creeds in the back kind of eyeing everything. We got the Los Americanos. They are a team, if you will. If they end up doing something with Javon and maybe Leon Slater makes an appearance on Raw, that will be a fun match. The Usos versus Javon and Leon Slater. Yes, please. Like that would feed some families right there. Um, yeah, we'll have to see what happens. Hopefully, this kind of shakes up the tag division. I already saw Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods are not pleased with all this. They already tweeted out their displeasure with OMFGs and ridiculousness and all that stuff. So maybe we'll run that back again, give them a good platform to just tear the house down again. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. So I'm excited. Sounds like Drop's a little excited, and yeah, that's basically how Raw ended. On a very good high note. So we're just gonna kind of move right along here. We mentioned the Vision, talked about the faction, all that. What are they up to tonight? How are we gonna finish off the build for Braun Breaker's big moment next week? Plus, we have a match between Austin Theory and Rey Mysterio tonight to build up, which kind of surprised this wasn't the main event just because the Vision and all that, but I am glad it wasn't considering what happened. But yeah, let's talk about all this because the Vision started out the night tonight. And I mean, Paul Heyman does his usual shtick where he just hypes up the Vision and all that. He does acknowledge and he does confirm that Austin Theory is now part of the Vision. So cool, great. We've got our fall guy. Awesome, fantastic. And before Austin Theory says his thing, which I do have a criticism with that, where like he kind of starts his speech the way a lot of like heels in his position start their speech, where it's just like, I have a lot to say and I'm gonna say it right now. And then he gets cut off by CM Punk. So thank God, because I could not sit through another cookie cutter heel promo if that was gonna be the start of it. So all right, cool. Maybe we'll table that little acknowledgement later on. But yeah, CM Punk comes out. He wants to have a one-on-one with Braun Breaker. He kind of gets it because the Vision do leave. Um, but yeah, I'm going to say this right here, probably one of Braun Breaker's better promos. I'm not going to say best, but definitely better promo. I know some people were clowning on him online. I think mainly for the Lamar Jackson comment, because I think Braun Breaker ended up getting cut from the team shortly after that. But that's that's for all you sports ball fans out there to yell about and talk about. But yeah, Braun basically talks about how, like, yeah, even though he was basically a nepo baby, he had to really like prove himself. Like he had an expectation where he had to go beyond that, even beyond just wrestling on the indies or trying to prove himself, around the world and all that. He had to prove it to his family who were already successful, who had already won world titles and all that. And yeah, basically, I like how he challenged Punk too to go into the back to find somebody just like him or even better. Like that was really good. And it led to a good response from CM Punk being like, yeah, I can't. There's nobody like you back there, and this is exactly what I like with like an elder CM Punk like this, because like you still get the bite from him, but there's still like a level of respect that he has towards most of his opponents, because he's still gonna give his best. He even says that too. He's just like, I'm not going to just fold for you. I'm not going to lay down. I'm not going to count the lights just for you. You're going to have to earn it. You're going to have to literally destroy me to get this title, which Braun is willing to do. He's willing to die for the title, basically. And yeah, this was a great way to kind of push Braun Breaker, especially just one on one with CM Punk like this. And you can kind of tell too, because there was a moment when like he was very close to Punk. He had the microphone, and I even messaged you too about this. You
Mhm.
could really see his hand shaking. Like you could tell in his hand he was nervous. But I mean, props though. He performed his promo very well. Really sold the match. Really sold how like his desire to be champion and what he's willing to do to be champion, and just like the fire that burns in him, and just how much he's ready to go on this. And I do like this. Like this is his opportunity to show that he's ready to be at the top of the card, to be that main eventer, to be that world champion that we know he can. Like, and he even said this in his promo too. He's just like, people keep telling me I'm the future, that I'm a future world champion, I'm a future main eventer. Well, guess what? I don't like that. Why? Because I'm the present. I'm here right now. I am the now. And right now I'm going to be the world heavyweight champion. And he even glazes the vision too, which is fine. It's cool, but it's all just to build himself up and to kind of hype himself up to be the world champion. And I, I'm just gonna say this right now: WWE will be fools to not put that belt on Braun Breaker. I'm gonna die on that hill. I think crowning him at next week's Raw, no matter what happens, like if he won it by himself, awesome. If he had help winning it, fine, whatever. Just at the end of the day, I want Braun Breaker to be holding that world heavyweight title. That's it, just period. You know, if and especially with a Stranger Things tie-in, like, yeah, you Netflix, you better give me both of what I want. Like, you better, in the next week or so. So I'm excited for it. I'm looking forward to this match. I'm really hoping again that they crown Braun and really usher in 2026 strong in this aspect. But drop, how about you lay this box on top of us? What do you think of this promo segment to open Monday Night Raw?
So I thought this was a really good promo segment, and we did discuss in the past when he had a great promo like a few weeks ago. So I do like how he's
Mhm.
becoming more and more comfortable on the mic. That's something I could really appreciate, because CM Punk is the big test. And it's like I said before, that's the guy, if you really want to bring the best out of somebody, that's the guy you need to go toe to toe with on the microphone. Even if it's just like a couple words being said to that said person, that's the person that you need to tell, like, hey, this is why I'm here. These are my goals. I want to accomplish them, etc. So on. And I'm the same as you. I really want him winning that title next week. CM Punk, I'm pretty sure that's not going to be his last world title. I'm pretty sure he's going to get another one under his belt before he retires. The way I look at it is, if you really want to build the future, or if you really want to push this whole narrative with Braun Breaker when it comes to the goals that he set for himself, you need to have him go out there and win the big one and beat CM Punk for this world title. Like, you need to start off the year
Mhm.
fresh, because 2025 WWE, it's been ass. I'm just going to be honest. It's been ass. It hasn't been the best at all. Easily the worst booking decisions, or just consistency alone when it comes to how they're running the product. But if you want to start off a new slate with 2026, starting off that season premiere for the first Monday Night Raw of 2026, you got to end it off with a bang. And then that leads us into the next week, leading into the Royal Rumble and all the way to WrestleMania, so we know what the initial goal is there. Because I
Mhm.
definitely do believe that Braun Breaker is going to have a big 2026. And if you want to start building towards that, you need to have him win that title next week. And I know we mentioned before where it's like, he could win it either way, but it's almost telling me the way that they're setting it up when it comes to like this conversation that he's been having with Punk for these past couple weeks and even tonight, it just tells me that, hey, don't worry about them. Because even like Punk like said himself tonight, it's like, you know, if you're a loser, they're just gonna drop you and move on to the next big thing. They're not gonna give a shit about you at all, which I do believe there is some truth to that, because we've seen Paul Heyman backstab people many, many times. So it's like, if you really want to set an impact when it comes to who Bron Breakker is moving forward, that's what you do. Leave the boys in the back, deliver what you need to do to capitalize on that night and beat CM Punk. That's basically all I want. That's just a me thing, because I just feel like it would be more meaningful that way, especially given these past interactions with the both of them, because Punk didn't even want to talk to him with those other guys there. He's trying to make it about them. And it's like you said, Punk, he's not ready to let this title go. And he's also willing to die for the title, just like Bron Breakker as well. So if you really want to set that message and you really want this match to actually feel important instead of like a spot fest or like the Vision running in there all the time, have Adam Pearce make the call. They're barred from ringside. They can't come out there. Like, he wants things to go the way that they're supposed to go down without any interference or any crazy shenanigans happening. Because, I mean, I could still see it, but I can't say I'll be a big fan of it if he wins that way. Because I feel like, you know, just like how Tiffany Stratton this year started off SmackDown making the decision on her own to go after Nia Jax and pretty much follow through with what she wanted to do to become the women's champion on SmackDown, accomplishing all those goals on herself, having the spotlight focus on her, having her being the topic of conversation. Let Bron Breakker do the same thing.
Yeah, yeah. I think just for me, like, because I would like that too. I would. I do see the interference happening. So, again, as for me, as long as I see him hold that title, fine, cool, whatever. But the only way I see him not walking out next week is if somebody interferes to cost him, which I am we'll be having a fun conversation if that happens. Also, depending on who that would be to interfere, because I also have a feeling Friday night we might get an interference with that title match
Why
to
no?
make Drew lose, which I'll have. I don't know. I'll have to wait to see how that plays out, because I have a feeling who it might be to interfere. Which, I mean, I would be fine with that interference at least, but
I
that
know who you're
we'll come to
talking
that
about.
road when we cross it with SmackDown. But yeah, I want that belt on him, man. It looks so good, just in his hands, on his waist. I need it with Braun Breaker right now. And again, I think WWE will be fools not to pull the trigger on him next week. Because if they don't, then when? Like, oh, we're gonna have him win the Royal Rumble. Is he gonna face Punk then at Mania?
Yeah.
Like, are we gonna seriously do the same thing we did this year, except, you know, with a better outcome at least when it came to like Jay winning the Royal Rumble? Like, I don't know, man. I just build him up now. Just build him up
Yeah.
now.
See,
Just do it.
see, that's the thing. Like, I don't personally want Bron Breakker to win the Royal Rumble. I just feel like that's just too easy for
Yeah.
him. And it just seems very lazy, because it's like, oh, okay, so you don't want to do it on the first Raw, but you want to wait until WrestleMania to do it. Not every single title that you win needs to be at WrestleMania. I get it. It's a special moment and everything. It's a WrestleMania moment. We know this. But at the same time, not every single thing that you execute needs to be on a PLE. Make it a little bit unpredictable at times. Catch us off guard, because, I mean, I can't say I'd be hyped if Bron Breakker won the Royal Rumble. There's many other fish that I can throw that opportunity at than him. Have him be the champion, because the whole point of the Vision is to set a mission statement for what they're trying to do. And it just seems like if you just you don't do anything with Braun Breaker. It just seems like we're just stalling. And it just seems
Mhm.
like, okay, why is this group a thing if they keep failing and failing every single time? Like, come on now.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. You know, and I mean, I mentioned it earlier with like belting
Yeah.
everybody on the vision. That I think for 2026, they need to do that. You know, have Braun Breaker win the world title on that Monday Night Raw. Have Theory and Logan Paul win the tag titles from the Usos, if that's going to be the route that they end up going. But have them win the tag titles from them, and then have Bronson Reed win that IC title because that's got to be up for grabs after hearing tonight that Dom is out indefinitely. Like we didn't
Yeah.
get any news yet about what they're doing with that title. So
Yeah.
I mean, just have Bronson Reed win it. Have him hold on to it. Like he deserves a title. He deserves the freaking world. You know, if Braun Breaker wasn't in that position right now, I'd say give Bronson Reed the world title, but
I
I
agree.
don't think he's going to be touching that world title anytime soon.
Nope.
Which sucks, but that's just how he's booked right now. You know, like
Yeah.
it'll happen eventually. Like it's not an if, it's a when for Bronson Reed. Oh man, but yeah, all this starts off Monday Night Raw and all that. So sometimes whenever we get these Vision promos at the beginning, you think, oh, we're gonna be getting a tag team match in the main event featuring the Vision, facing off against a team of faces. I'm glad we didn't get that, so happy with that. But we do have at least one match for the Vision tonight, where we have Rey Mysterio taking on Austin Theory. Now, CM Punk did go into the back to say, "Hey, Ray, I'm willing to help you out. I'll be in your corner." Ray says, "Nah, I made a phone call. I got some backup of my own." And in my
Mm.
mind, I'm thinking, "Oh, we're actually going to get the LWO involved." Remember Ray? Your little group of the LWO? Remember them? Joaquin Phoenix and what's his face? The other one that I keep forgetting his name with. Um
Mm.
no, no, no. He's got some other backup, which probably a little better if we're being honest. And of course, the Vision do welcome Austin Theory to the group and all that. Expectations are high, and Logan Paul is gonna join Austin Theory for his match against Rey Mysterio. And out they go, out to their new match and new music for Austin Theory. So I I was a little taken aback at first with it, but the song kept going. I'm like, all right, you know what? This is fine. This is fine. Maybe a few tweaks here and there. But honestly, I think it's fine. I think it fits Austin Theory, especially with having new music and this new attitude of his. And I mean, yeah, not many notes. It's one of the better Def Rebel songs out there. So good job, guys. You were adequate right here. What'd you think of his new music?
I actually don't mind it. I actually personally liked
Mhm,
it. Not saying that like it's my favorite song ever, but I didn't really have
yeah.
that many issues with it. Like I like the
Mhm,
whole rock theme to it. I didn't really hear
mhm,
like any catchphrase in the beginning, which is a good sign. Besides like the little beat, but I rather have that than have a catchphrase. So
mhm,
at least that's showing us that there's some sort of development there. But I personally like it. Like out of
yeah.
a lot of the other songs that they've been putting out recently, this probably would have to be like one of the ones that I actually don't mind hearing when he comes up because I always love when rock or metal music, however you want to put it, connects with wrestling, and I just
Mhm,
really like this song. Like I said, I'm
yeah.
not saying I'm like a super fan of it, but it's definitely in the right direction. Like it definitely sounds like
Yes.
a wrestling song. If it's like the screamo, heavy metal, rock, whatever the case may be, that's the kind of thing that reminds a lot of people of wrestling. And
Mhm,
I'm really hoping we're not going to harp on it tonight, but I'm really hoping we get a good idea of where the whole music thing is going in 2026 once we hit January.
yeah.
That would be awesome. But so far, I'm liking what they do with Theory. And I honestly feel like Theory himself probably knows this is probably his last chance to really do something with himself.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, he's had opportunities before one thing that I did catch when I was, catching up on podcasts to cover the shows because I didn't really watch them myself was a comment
Mhm.
that Wade Barrett or somebody made last week on Raw when it came to that win over John Cena, not really doing anything to benefit his character. I really liked how that was
Yeah.
brought up because there's a lot of truth to it. You would expect that to do wonders for him, like how it's doing Gunther. And even I have my own little nitpicks with that, which we'll dive into a little bit later. But it's like I appreciate that they're being honest with us when it comes to the current status of Theory and everything, and I'm just really hoping for the best for him. And I just have this odd feeling, and I'm just gonna say this just to get it out of the way because I have more thoughts on other things. I didn't really care for the match, to be
Oh
honest.
yeah.
Like that whole
Yeah, no. It
interference
like
ruined it for me. And cool, Penta is
yeah.
back. What a speedy recovery that is. But going back to what I was just saying, I just have this weird suspicion deep inside me that he's just playing a character right now, and I'm really
Mhm.
hoping this turns him into like a super baby face later down the line because I don't know what it is, but it's like I kind of feel like he's working alongside the Vision, trying to
Mhm.
learn all what ticks with them, and then when the time is right, he strikes. That's what I'm
Yeah.
expecting with him in the long run because again, I just feel like there's a lot of potential for him as a face, and I'm just not fully convinced that he's like all heel for the Vision, and he's going to be
Mhm.
following like all these different rules that they have set out for them.
Yeah, I could see that. Maybe it's something to do. I mean, that this is
Mm,
kind of crazy too, thinking about it. But like, it could be like one of those like multi-man situations
yeah,
where they have Austin Theory in maybe. I mean, that world title match with Braun Breaker. Maybe it's like Braun Breaker with a couple other people, and they throw Austin Theory in there. Kind of very similar to like. This is gonna be a weird comparison. I know people trust me on
mm,
this. It'd be kind of like how with Triple H and Batista back in the day with Evolution, where it's like,
yeah,
oh, you had them in, I think it was like an elimination chamber. Yes, yes, it was because Triple H didn't help like Batista, like he didn't help him get out of a pinning combination or whatever. He just sat his ass back down. But it could be a thing where it's like one of those like multi-man matches and Theory like sees his opportunity, sees his moment, rolls up Braun Breaker 1, 2, 3. I'm the world champion now, and just like bolts it out of there. Like that would be a crazy steal. And I know that's a crazy like uh theory theory crazy theory prediction or whatever, but I mean it could be something crazy like that. And I mean that's at least something bold for them to do in 2026. Like it doesn't have to be in the first part of it. It could be like in the second half of 2026
yeah,
after Braun's had like a long title reign. But like that, I can at least applaud that because at least that's something different. That's something like twisting things around, at least, like it's taking a chance, it's taking a shot. But I think all that kind of depends on how his work goes right now. Because like with this match with Ray, I do agree with you. It was kind of a nothing match, but there were signs of how Austin Theory, like there was more signs of how his style is going to be changing here. Now, it's your typical WWE, oh, that slow, methodical pace because they're a heel now. But there's also just a hint of him being more focused because there was a moment, and Wade Bear kind of caught this on commentary where Wade was starting to go off about how like Rey Mysterio is like quick on his feet, quick on his actions, all that stuff. But Austin Theory like countered Ray in the middle of Wade Barrett saying all that. And it was that moment it kind of clicked in me. It's just like, okay, because Austin Theory's always been really good in the ring. He's always been a solid worker and all that, and he's always been like portrayed as a good wrestler and all that. But now with him being more focused and being more, I mean, obviously he's going to be healing it up and all that, but it's more of just that focus I'm leaning on here because now he's just got this intensity about him where he's more confident in countering people, more brutal in his counters, and able to kind of pick up a lot of the offense after pulling off a counter and all that. So like, yeah, he had Ray for a bit in this match, but yeah, like you said, Logan Paul interferes, causes the DQ. I'm just like, come on, can't we just have Austin Theory win? Like, can we do that?
Mm.
Even if it was in a heel way, like it at least leaves something for Ray, because I mean,
Oh.
Ray's lost to heels in very heelish fashion before. Why not here? Why not now? But it's fine, cool, whatever. Because post match beatdown goes on, and out comes Penta. He's back. I guess he's recovered fully now. He's
Huh.
helping out Rey Mysterio
Yeah.
with the Vision. Cool, awesome, fantastic. Because I mean, I do love Penta. I do like him. I'm glad
Yeah.
he's back and all that. So we'll have to see how this pans out. Obviously, it's probably going to be leaning towards a tag match. I doubt it's going to be next week, but probably down in the future, we'll have that tag match between Theory and Logan Paul, Mysterio, and Penta. I'm just happy Penta's back. Hopefully, you're completely healed and ready to get back into the action.
One thing I will say is I'm hoping we get this whole stomp thing addressed as well. Like why he keeps using the
Hmm.
stomp, because you would have to think they would question that eventually. That has to be some sort of plot point later down the line. And
Ooh.
I know this is like a popular theory going around in the community that I could potentially see, because we obviously know when Seth Rollins comes back, he's going to be a baby face. He's going to go after Braun Breaker and the rest of them. So I'm wondering if like I spoke about earlier, this is Austin Theory playing a character, but he's also
Hmm.
working alongside Seth Rollins to just see the inner workings of
Yep.
everything. Because then
Dude, it
once
was
Seth
clicking.
comes
It was
back,
clicking in my mind as you were talking. I'm just like, oh
yeah,
wait. He's an agent for Seth.
yeah,
This. Oh
that's what
shit!
it feels
It's
like,
clicking
because
in my
it's like,
mind now.
yeah, because it's just weird because he keeps using it, and you got to think in your head, why does he
Oh,
keep
it's
using
good.
it? And obviously,
Hmm.
he's going to have people like CM Punk as his enemies because, of course, that's one of Seth Rollins' enemies. That's never going to change, babyface or not. They're never going to see eye to eye. That's just how it is. So, if they're working alongside each other, that's what's going to happen. Whenever Theory comes across CM Punk, that's just something you're going to have to get used to seeing. So it just makes me think, when Seth Rollins comes back, whenever that may be,
Hmm.
probably post WrestleMania or something along the lines of that, we don't really know. That's probably when you'll get the turn as well. Because it'd just be
Yeah.
stupid if you think about it. He comes back and he goes against all of them. Like, you got to think in the back of your head. Like, he's a visionary and everything. He knows how to orchestrate all these different kinds of plans. He obviously knows that he needs to think ahead. He can't just go in there blind and
Yeah.
expect to win the fight and beat all those guys. Like, you have to think that this is probably part of his plan, and we don't know who else is going to come into the picture and everything. But I definitely feel like that's probably the end game with it, and that's definitely a way to like really revive Austin Theory's career as well.
See, now I'm kind of theory crafting right now. Like the gears are kind of turning in my head. Because
Huh?
remember when we had this mask guy, we had a couple people
Hmm.
playing the mask guy.
They didn't look like the
One
same
of them
person.
being yeah, exactly. Like I think they had like a different person at different shows and all that. But apparently one night the masked person was Montez Ford.
Hmm.
What if we involve the Street Profits in all this? Seth is kind of creating his own Vision 2.0 in a way to kind of combat the Vision and all that. Because like that's the thing. It's like, yeah, it's great to have like the inside man in Austin Theory there, but you'll need a little bit more backup when it comes to trying to take on especially Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. And they could always end up adding another person. I don't know. Who knows? I mean, I'm not gonna say no to another person being added to the Vision, because I'm sure Logan Paul can't really be there every single week. But
Yeah.
we'll see if that road comes to it. But man, that's yeah. As soon as you were talking about it, like you mentioned the stomp, I'm just like, wait, okay, hold on, wait a minute. I can kind of see something, because Austin Theory does have history with Seth, especially when it comes to like being part of a group and all that.
Uh huh.
Because I mean, that's why everybody was speculating on Austin Theory joining the Vision in the first place, you know?
And I wouldn't
So
mind that because we'd also don't have any plans for the Street Profits too.
yeah, what the hell are they doing? Nothing at
Uh-huh.
all. Like, all right, cool, great. Let's throw them into something to give them something to do. Like move them onto Raw, move like the Creeds over to SmackDown because God knows they need something too. Like they're just in the background looking at other people doing more things. Okay, great. They're a fucking great tag team. You're not using them at all, but whatever. I don't want to go into that tangent tonight at all.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, I mean, again, like this match with Austin Theory and Rey Mysterio, it was okay. Again, like I mean, I know I went off a little bit on like some of the small things I was noticing with Theory, but again, it ends in a DQ, like a very blatant DQ too from Logan Paul. Like I'm just like, dude, come on. Like, but then commentary's all like, oh, this was never about winning a match, blah blah blah. I'm just like, or they could have won the match,
Uh-huh.
had like a nice little one next to your win column
Eh,
instead of now it's a DQ. Okay,
Yep.
cool.
Mhm.
Just wipe the slate clean. I guess 2026 starts next week. Awesome. But that's everything to do with like the main event scene, the main event picture. Talked about our headline story. Let's talk about some of our mid-card stories. I only have one here tonight, which dealt with the women's world title picture. We had a triple threat match tonight between Stephanie Vaquer defending her title against Raquel Rodriguez and Nikki Bella. Raquel is going out to the ring by herself. She asked both Liv and Roxanne not to help. So there's just more storyline for the Judgment Day there. Um, all right, fine. You're kind of telegraphing that, hey, you're not winning the title tonight, which I'm not gonna lie, this might be a hot take in this space or whatever. I wouldn't have minded if Raquel won tonight. I would not have minded because I think it would have been a great reward for her for all the improvement that she's made just in the latter half of this year, just in like the past 6 months. But I mean, at least Nikki Bella would have been there to eat the pin, which she does tonight too. This match though, it yeah, yeah, with the match. I mean, I even kind of wrote it in my notes. Like Nikki Bella was almost not a non-factor in this match. I mean, she had some offense in there, and I think there was some stuff during the commercial breaks, but she was just there. This is more of a one-on-one match between Raquel and not Roxanne, Raquel and Stephanie Vaquer, featuring Nikki Bella, if you will. But I mean, it was fine. There was a good couple moments here and there. Like, one standout moment. There was a nice sequence where Roxanne, not Roxanne. Why do I keep wanting to say Roxanne? It's because I want Roxanne involved in the women's world title picture, but whatever. Cool. Raquel tries to do like this I forgot what the move's called, but like she tries to do like this back like submission onto Stephanie, and then Stephanie kind of reverses it. Then you get like this test of strength from Raquel. Yeah, Raquel. I second guessed myself because I almost thought I said Roxanne again. So Raquel has this big old feat of strength to lift up Stephanie Vaquer. Vaquer showing great balance to help with that spot and all that, but Stephanie does easily reverse it into a pinfall combination, which Raquel kicks out of, which immediately gets stomped by Nikki Bella. I thought Nikki's timing was great. Stephanie's balance was awesome. The strength shown by Raquel was amazing. So definitely a big highlight, at least for me. But once Raquel hits the Tiana bomb on Nikki Bella, she's almost got the match won, but Stephanie just throws her out, capitalizes it. 1, 2, 3, retains the title. Again, okay match, I suppose. I'm wondering if we're gonna get another one-on-one with Raquel and Stephanie, since Raquel didn't really lose the match. She technically had the match once, so she does have reason to go to Adam Pearce to be like, "Hey, man, can I get my one-on-one?" I mean, he'll probably have to jump through some hoops to do it, which fine, cool, whatever. I do think Raquel's time will be coming in 2026 though, with holding a women's world title and maybe even a face turn. too, because like she's kind of showing some face tendencies, like trying to tell Liv and Roxanne, "Hey, stay in the back. I don't really need you guys." Like in a way, I kind of need to prove that, hey, I didn't really need you at all, Liv. Like I improved on my own. I did well on my own without you. I mean, granted, she had Roxanne, but that's still besides the point. Raquel, again, there's a reason she was nominated for one of our awards this year for our end of the year and everything. But yeah, again, match was just eh, eh, eh. Did you like it?
I don't know. It felt really off to me. If I'm being 100%
Hmm.
honest with you, like I
Yeah.
don't know what it is. Like I don't know if it was just me, but it seems like Nikki was missing a lot of spots, or her timing was off, or it just
Hmm.
seems like things are supposed to be executed differently, but it wasn't. It just kind of felt a little awkward in between. Like sure, there was good moments here and there, mainly with like Stephanie Vaquer and Raquel Rodriguez. Those are the ones that I
Hmm.
was really paying attention to the most in this match itself. And it's like you said in your statement as well when you were, analyzing the match itself and looking at what's going on. Like Nikki honestly felt like a ghost in this match, if I'm being honest. And I've seen a lot of
Hmm.
people online saying, "Oh, what happened with Nikki Bella? What's going on with her?" And I'm looking at that and I'm like, I mean, what do you expect? You really think they're gonna switch things around this close to the Royal Rumble and Elimination Chamber and WrestleMania? Like, I'm sorry, like I don't see Nikki Bella main event at WrestleMania. At least when it comes to like a women's world title match, I don't see that. I don't see how anything fits in the cards for that because there's like other
Hmm.
stories falling in there, like a Becky Lynch or an AJ Lee or a Liv Morgan or a Raquel Rodriguez. Just throwing things out there, not saying that they're gonna happen, but there's at least more things on the show, or even like a Stephanie Vaquer and Liv Morgan thing. There's like
Yeah.
Stephanie Vaquer or Rhea Ripley, which I'm pretty sure that's something that they're probably focusing on the most. But it's like I don't know. The match just seemed like awkward to me. Like, I mean, when I
Hmm.
was looking at it on paper, I probably would have preferred just a rematch from the previous match that unfortunately didn't really get the proper conclusion it had. And I don't want to come off as
Hmm.
like a Nikki Bella hater because I know it's definitely sounding like this when it comes to the conversation that I'm having with everybody right now. But it's like there's nothing really appealing to her right now. Like I appreciate her
Hmm.
being there and trying her best to work with these new group of women. But at the same time, I'm like, I just don't have that feeling with you like I did all those years ago. Like that's
Yeah.
probably when she was in her prime when it came to her and Cena going up against like the Miz and Maurice and just having that back and
Hmm.
forth, or her and AJ Lee all those years ago, or whatever feuds that she was in around that time. I just don't feel it here. Like I'm sorry, I just don't feel it here. It,
No.
it just feels like awkward and everything. It's almost like a self insert thing. Like she just
Hmm.
seemed like a background character really because it literally felt like the match was just Stephanie Vaquer and Raquel Rodriguez, and then you had Nikki Bella, breaking holds or trying to do the best she possibly can to like counter one of them, but it really felt like a competitive match between Stephanie Vaquer and Raquel Rodriguez. That's basically like how
Hmm.
I took the match itself. So it's like I don't really know
Yeah.
what they're doing with Nikki here. If anything, if I were to say something positive about this, try to do something that at least benefits her because she's just been on a constant losing streak over and over and over again. So it's like, how are you
Hmm.
going to capitalize on her next? Because I don't want to watch Raw next week and have her coming after Stephanie again because we already did that once and we already did it a second time now with this match. We do not need that. She lost to her
No.
twice. Stephanie pinned her twice. Survivor Series and then this match tonight. So it's like we need to switch things up here. We need to prep her with somebody else or whatever it is. I don't want to see this constant rotation of her and Stephanie because I mean, if you
Hmm.
keep losing to the same person, and I feel this way towards Cody and Drew, not at the same extent because I mean they feel a lot more different than those
Mhm.
two ladies. But it's like if I'm getting the same result for that said person over and over again, just stop it and move on to something else because we don't need to keep seeing it. And that's like a common theme right now in WWE where there's like a lot of like recycled feuds just
Mhm.
coming up out of just coming out of thin air, like the Aleister Black and Damian Priest. I don't care about that anymore. Sure, the 3 stages of hell is going to be a cool concept with Cody and Drew, but it all depends really what's going to happen towards the end of the match. I don't really expect there to be a title chain. I feel like the main talking point, I mean, I'll just spoil our conversation right here. Probably Randy Orton returning and doing something nasty. We'll talk about that more
Oh,
on Friday. But it's
you're
like,
calling Randy Orton.
yeah,
Oh,
that's how I personally
I was
feel.
thinking I'm thinking of a different Samoan type return.
Oh, I wouldn't mind that either. Either one works to me
Yeah.
personally. We just need to
Yeah,
find the.
exactly. Yeah.
But it's like I don't know. Like that they need to figure out exactly what they're doing for her. So I guess if I were to throw some sort of positive, like I just went over, try to put her on like
Mhm.
a proper track because the constant losing streak, turning, you got to do something. You can't just turn someone heel and it doesn't do anything. Like you got to
Yeah.
do
I mean,
something with her character because it's like I don't want to see Stephanie again next week. I want to see exactly like what's her initial goal now.
yeah. I mean, I would one thing I would do with Nikki, and this kind of fixes another problem that's going on too. Maybe in like the next couple weeks or so, move her to SmackDown.
Yeah,
Give her that US title. There's something.
yeah,
Because I mean, as much as I love Chelsea Green, this thing with Julia right now is not also not really doing anything for me. You
no,
know, at least, well, yeah, never mind. That would start another tangent of mine that we could save for like Thursday for a different conversation. But yeah, I mean, you could move Nikki over there, have her win the U.S. title, hold that for a bit, because I mean that'll be another notch in her belt, winning
yeah,
one of the women's mid card titles, and I feel like the women's IC titles going a different direction when it comes to
yeah,
a legend possibly holding that title again or for the first time. I mean, but I mean, there's one possibility, but I think another positive from Nikki in this match though, and this is mainly has to do with her character work. There was the moment where she put that STF on Raquel, and the fans started going, "Thank you, Cena." And she just in the middle of it, she's just like, "You should be thanking me." I'm just like, okay, you know what? Good heel work, good heel work there. Because at least when it comes to the character, you can be pretty good when it comes to, especially when you're heel. Love the heel work and all that. So yeah, unfortunately, you know, match quality wise, didn't really do too much. Um, yeah, I would agree with like some of Nikki's timing. I know I'd said the one thing about the one kick earlier with timing that it was good, but like, yeah, there was a lot of spots that was just like it almost feels like sometimes whenever Nikki's in the ring with somebody anymore, they almost have to slow down for her and have to like force themselves to make her look a lot better than she is. And see it again, I come off as a Nikki Bella hater, but I'm really not. You know, I do appreciate her work, and you know what she's done is just, you know, she's kind of, she doesn't fit in. She just does not fit in with the current roster, and it's just hopefully the nostalgia run ends in 2026,
uh huh,
because if it goes beyond 2026, I really don't know if that's really going to benefit her career or not, at least when it comes to like in ring and all that. But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see when it comes to that. Well, hopefully we'll get another rematch with Stephanie and Raquel, because I would prefer that one over the Stephanie and Nikki one, because
uh,
I think Stephanie and Raquel have a lot better chemistry with each other, and plus there's a really good story being told there with Raquel still chasing this title, because she keeps being so close to winning it, so close to winning it, and yet, you know, Liv is gonna be undermining her now. And I mean, if Liv ends up winning the title off of Stephanie, you know, maybe we can get the trajectory to like Liv and Raquel at Mania, because that could be a moment in itself too. But you know, I think like you said, I think the company might be leaning towards Stephanie and Rhea because I mean that's if we're being honest, that's kind of the bigger WrestleMania match, especially when it comes to quality. But the story is at least there when it comes to Liv and Raquel. So I at least wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah.
But any other comments before we kind of move on to our final segment here?
I'm just hoping they give us like a good idea of like where these stories are heading next week, because now that we got this match out of the way on this show, I'm hoping they do a little bit better with Stephanie Vaquer. If that's I'm not gonna get too into it now, but I was expecting
Yeah.
a lot more out of this run, so it does feel a little bit underwhelming at times. I feel like there's a lot of things that you could have done with her, but around the time you had a lot of the main event talent involved in the tag scene, and they still are. I mean, they have a tag team match next week, but I'm hoping we kick things into gear with her because I want to see her getting into some good feuds at like the next Saturday
Hmm.
night's main event or the Royal Rumble Elimination Chamber. More than likely, one of those are probably figuring out who her opponent is, because I'm pretty confident she's probably gonna still be champion heading into WrestleMania.
Hmm.
So I'm just hoping the best for that. Honestly, just getting a
Yeah.
good idea of where things are heading.
Yeah, same here. Because I mean, she's held the title. I think now today marked 100 days, so hopefully she's able to get something to really sink her teeth into. So yeah, we're gonna move on to our final segment, known as the Quickfire Segments. These are usually segments that we don't have a lot to talk about, or that just need to be talked about very briefly and all that. So first and foremost, we had Gunther coming in being called out by Jackie Redmond and R-Truth in the back for basically being an asshole about tapping out John Cena, and he has a glorified squash match against R-Truth, just getting more heel heat and all that, making Truth tap out. Cool, neat, awesome. Thanks for coming, Truth. That's basically that one. The Kabuki Warriors do go out to the ring, kind of gloat about beating Rhea up last week, same with Io and all that, but Rio come out to beat up on the Kabukis. They got a big title match next week. I don't know how that's gonna go, but just because like the Kabukis have been losing a lot lately, and I, at least I will say that with the benefit, or at least the positive of that, is I don't know where they're going to be going with the tag titles with this, but
Yeah.
it's at least got me. It's got me curious what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Me personally, I would rather the Kabukis hold it, but that's neither here nor there with it. Um, Maxine comes out to the ring very confident in her match against Becky Lynch next week, so out comes Becky to she does congratulate her, gives her 15 minutes of fame and all that, but Becky's feeling a little bit more serious now. She's willing to go the distance to possibly take that IC title away from Maxine, and if I'm being honest, probably do that. I mean, Maxine, you've been fine, you've been good, but there's a different story between Becky and AJ that I think the title would really benefit from. And again, kind of like what I said with like Nikki Bella with the US title, have AJ Lee hold that IC championship. Ooh, that would feed some families in 2026, let me tell you. And of course, Bailey and Lyra want to be next for the tag titles. And again, I don't know where the women's tag title scene is gonna go, but hey, it's at least up in the air. It's got me curious. But hey, look, there's Trick Williams. Is he going to be on Raw? Is he going to be on SmackDown? Find out next week because he's an free agent. Any thoughts and comments about these quick fire moments, or anything you
Mm.
want to kind of dive a little bit more
Mm.
into?
So the one thing I will dive a little bit into that I did allude to earlier is what's currently going on with Gunther. It definitely does
Hmm.
seem like we're setting up some sort of program with him and AJ Styles soon. So that's probably one of the main reasons why they dropped the title tonight. So we'll
Yeah.
probably see that sometime in 2026. Not entirely sure when that's going to be. But my little nitpick with Gunther, and it's nothing against him winning against John Cena. I just been
Hmm.
feeling very like underwhelmed when it comes to what they're doing with him, because
Okay.
outside of what we've seen with him so far, I don't want to see this R-Truth stuff. So what is that going to do for us? Because I get it,
Hmm.
R-Truth going up, because he looked up to John Cena and everything, but it's like I really want to start seeing things kick into gear with him when it comes to his next move, because unlike Theory, he actually gained a lot of momentum by retiring John Cena. So I don't want to see him in the sideline. I actually want to see a little bit more from him, because I felt like what he did before when he made the few comments and everything, he did that part. He played that role when he needed to. But now I want to see him kicking things into gear next week when it comes to possibly starting that program with AJ Styles, looking at what his goal is when it comes to the Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber, and WrestleMania, because he's another guy that I see getting a big 2026 as well, because you can't just leave him in the sidelines after having him retire John Cena. So I'm honestly hoping they do something a little bit more with him, because I didn't really care about the R-Truth thing, if I'm being 100% honest. Like, it just didn't really do much for me. So I'm hoping with AJ losing the title, that finally starts kicking things into motion when it comes to an actual program that I can sink my teeth into, because there's a lot of guys that he could be starting programs with that doesn't necessarily need a title, because what he did is above a title at this point. So it's like getting him involved with like all these other guys. I feel like that's what you really need to do with him. Give us something new. We have not seen a Gunther versus AJ Styles. So that would be a very interesting program to dive into and see exactly where that goes. That's my main issue with it. So I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt starting next week, since that's their season premiere of Raw. They start building that road for Gunther when it comes to what he's going to be doing moving forward, because I mean that's the perfect way to help out AJ as well, so he's not just waiting for another tag title opportunity. Like, he can actually start things with Gunther, since it's been teased like twice now when it came to them interacting with each other. And when it comes to the Kabuki Warriors and, Rhea and Io, again, I'd rather see them retain the titles, but I have this feeling they might actually win it, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
But if we're going to start building stuff towards WrestleMania, I'm hoping we have like a game plan with this, because it's really hard for me to not see Rhea or Io or whoever the case may be in like a major match. And I don't know if I really see them holding the tag titles that long, even if they do win it. Like, at the very best, I see them having it for at least maybe a month and a half or so. I don't see them having it forever. So I'd rather them just keep it. But we'll see what happens next week. And yeah, I have a feeling that Becky Lynch more than likely is probably going to win the IC title next week. I just have this strange feeling. And as much as I hate to admit it, it's starting to feel like a moment. And that's the thing that I didn't want to see. Like, everything outside of that, when it comes to her promo work and wrestling ability and everything, has improved. So I am very happy about that. But I just feel like it just feels like a moment now. And as much as I hate to see her lose that title, I agree with you. There's better things to do with that title outside of whatever we're doing with this, because ever since she won it, it's just been Becky, 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 Becky. It hasn't been anything different. I mean, hell, if Nikki wasn't doing anything, you could have done something with her and Nikki, spice things up with that or something, since she's a heel now, or whatever it is. Like, there's other things that she could have done. She could have done other title defenses. She could have really started kicking things more into gear with this promo work that she's been doing. That's been very good, but I'm just hoping they have some sort of plan with her after she loses the title, because if they don't, I'm going to be very unhappy, because I see a lot of potential there, and she's one of those people that really pushed herself to the limit to transform herself outside of being like this comedy character. Like, she's actually more serious now, so that's something I really appreciate. And when it comes to the whole Bailey and Lyra thing, I mean, hey, whoever wins those titles, they get the title shot for. But the interesting thing that I have noticed is that when it comes to Trick Williams and Javon Evans and even Oba Femi, because they showed a video package for him as well, it seems like they really want these guys on Monday Night Raw, unless it's just Oba Femi that's going to be there, since he's been having the video packages on the show and everything, and I kind of see him as being on Raw, even though he could technically be on SmackDown too. But I don't know, I just feel like they want to be greedy and get the big money makers on Raw. But I mean,
Yeah,
hell, imagine if they actually did have like Javon Evans, Trick Williams, and Obafemi like on that one show. That's pretty crazy to think
that'd
about.
be insane. Yeah, that would be crazy. Um, yeah. So yeah, I guess quick responses to what you had to say. Like honestly, I'm kind of in a different boat when it comes to those three. I could. Javon kind of feels like the raw guy because
Yeah,
they definitely want somebody that's like very showy.
yeah,
And I mean he's a bouncy boy, so those kind of equal each other. I could see Oba and Trick on SmackDown mainly because with Oba on SmackDown, there's lot more room for him to grow as a star
yeah,
compared to Raw, where I think like with Raw, he would kind of he would kind of suffer a little bit because there's a lot of like everybody's kind of in their place when it comes to Raw, whereas
yeah,
SmackDown seems like the place where like you're gonna be able to like get a few reps in. For example, you can like go for the U.S. title because I'm hoping that Carmelo, which by the way, congrats on Carmelo Hayes winning that U.S. title. Thank you for doing that. Oh my god, that was so great to see. Um, but like he could be answer an open challenge for that, push him to the moon with there. And kind of with Trick Williams on SmackDown, I mean, I kind of put him there only because Mello's there. They could easily play off that. Maybe Trick, I mean, as much as this would suck too as well, I mean, have Trick kind of use the Miz a little bit to get ahead. But
yeah,
it would be a different dynamic with him and the Miz at least, because it could be something where like again Trick is using the Miz to get ahead, and then he just kind of cuts him to the curve and all that. Like I could see something like that happening. But Trick is also one of those guys where I could see him on either show as well. Like I could see him on Raw doing the Raw thing, but I could also see him on SmackDown kind of building his stock as well. But yeah, so that's with that. Maxine, again, I think we kind of covered all that. It just you did a really good job of building yourself up, looking good and all that. So that would be cool. Um, already said our thing with the Kabuki Wars. Oh, with the Gunther thing. I feel like we are done with the R2 thing. I think that was to me, I kind of look at that as like the John Cena epilogue for the year. So like, you had all this stuff and then Gunther retires him, and the falling action of John Cena's retirement tour has been Gunther gloating and being just on top of the world for making John Cena tap out, and then kind of ending the year and like ending the John Cena retirement tour year with R Truth, one of John Cena's biggest fans. I mean, John Cena is literally his childhood hero and all that. Having him tap out to Gunther and like it's a good kind of falling action epilogue kind of thing, at least in my mind. But I do get it where it's just like, Gunther could be doing more. But I think this was just kind of a placeholder for him until we get into that AJ Styles stuff, which hopefully start next week, or at least allude to it a little bit more next week. But that was our quick fire segments, everybody. Just some quick little fire shots out to everything that happened on Raw, where we come to like promo work and all that stuff. But we've reached our end of the show. We've reached our final thoughts here. Whoa, hold on. As we look at this, I'll check the chat here. But drop, let me know what do you think of Raw overall tonight.
So I thought Raw was a good show tonight when it comes to certain things that they were doing. Like, I appreciated the Braun promo. I thought that was needed heading into the match next week with CM Punk. So that's something I really appreciated. Giving him some time on the mic to show who he is. So that's good because, I mean, I'm really hoping we're taking this push seriously with him. I'm hoping it's not one of those things where it's like he says he wants to do this and that and he never accomplished it. Like, we really need to start taking these factions seriously. And if they want to set goals on themselves, allow them to complete them. So I'm pushing for Braun Breaker next week. I love CM Punk, don't get me wrong. I don't really push it for him next week, so he's able to capitalize on this. And I'm hoping we get some sort of like idea of what we're going on with Stephanie next week. Like, I'm hoping we get some sort of like idea of like, okay, this is where she's heading now that she's done with Raquel and Nikki Bella. Hoping there's something with Nikki Bella, not her running into Stephanie Vaquer against, okay, we're gonna finish this at like a Saturday night's main event or Royal Rumble, because I personally do not want to see that. You know, 2026 is like your clean slate after all the mistakes that you made this year. Try to capitalize on it somehow. Hopefully, there's something coming out of the Usos. Hopefully, they can, which I feel like they will continue that momentum that AJ and Dragon Lee did with the tag titles. Hopefully, we get a good idea of where things are heading with that. And outside of that, I'm just hoping for the best next week when it comes to that first episode.
Yeah, so am I. And I mean, I guess it's just a quick follow up question because I know I answered Vincent's little question in the chat, but I do want to bring it up to you as well because we did talk about three guys from NXT going up. Any women from NXT that you are expecting to be called up here in the future?
Hopefully Jordan Grace, because I don't know why she's still on there. She's been on there for the
Yep.
longest time. I mean, if what I saw on Friday is a good indicator that Joe Hendry wasn't even on there for not even 2 months or so,
Hmm.
ever since he signed with the company, then bring her up, put her on SmackDown. I don't really see what else there is for her to do there. I would probably say Soruka would be another one. Zarya is probably going to be down there for a bit, so I don't see her coming up
Hmm.
next year at all. And I guess another one I could throw in there potentially. Um, Maybe we could do something with Blake Monroe later in the year. Kalani's another one as well. Should probably be on SmackDown with Mello because couples normally like travel with one another. So I mean that's
Hmm.
another one that can get thrown in there. But those are the names I'm really looking forward to the most, really, is like Jordan Grace, Blake Monroe, and Sol Ruka. Like those are the ones in NXT that I have a lot of stock in that I really care about. So those are the ones
Hmm.
I can see. I don't really see Blake Monroe going up there yet until she's like the NXT Women's Champion. So once she gets that all
Hmm.
settled, then I can see her. Like you want to talk about like big names, like main event talent that can evolve on there. Those are the three names I can give you for that.
Hmm. Yeah. All right, those are some good options as well. So yeah, but yeah, I think Raw again. I think it was an all right show. We had a great main event match. We had a fantastic promo from Braun Breaker. An okay match with Austin Theory and Mysterio. Glad Penta's back. The women's world title picture. Hopefully, we're moving away from the Nikki Bella part of it and moving forward with Stephanie Vaquer. Maybe we get the thing with Raquel, like we talked about. Maybe Liv gets involved finally. Who knows? Because it looks like she is kind of plotting a little bit. Oh, one quick thing too. I meant to put this in the quickfire segments as well. There was a promo from Finn, like during one of the commercial breaks, where he's basically talked about being in Orlando again, carrying the back of NXT, making that great, and saying how he's got to put like Dom and JD on his back because they're out of commission now, putting the whole Judgment Day on his back and going for singles title gold.
Yeah.
That's one thing I want from 2026,
Oh
which
yeah.
brings me to a question I'm about to ask you here in a second. One thing I would really love from 2026 is not only Finn getting a good singles title run for the first time in God knows ages how long, but I think one thing I want from WWE in 2026 is I guess a little bit more consistency when it comes to your booking, your writing, and all that, and just take a few more risks. Like just give us those moments that make us talk about it, and then in a more positive way or in a more curious, um, very interested kind of way, where it's just like, oh wait, why did they do that? Like what direction are they going to, like, make us question things in a good way to make us invested in your product, so that way 2026 ends up being better than 2025 ended up being. Because yeah, like Drop said, 2025 this year was kind of ass when it came to WWE. And trust me, there are some things in AEW and other companies, TNA and all that, like, that weren't the best either. But that's just how the nature of the game works. But what's one thing before we close out here? What's one thing that you would like to see especially in WWE in 2026.
Probably consistency, actually knowing what we're doing, actually following through with storylines, actually treating titles the way they're meant to be, making statements and actually having those statements matter, not always saying this is the new era, this is this is that. Like actually try to evolve the product in some way, try to go back to like the WrestleMania 40 era of like how consistent everything was around that time within that year itself when it came to a lot of the storylines going on there, because you got a lot of big names coming up soon, like a Obafemi and a Javon Evans and a Trick Williams, possibly Jordan Gray, Soruka, JC Jane, whatever the case may be. You got all these other people coming up soon eventually. Try to figure out exactly what you're doing. Don't just make a moment out of somebody. Capitalize on it. Like this whole thing with Carmelo Hayes, it's awesome. He's the United States champion. He earned it. Continue that momentum. Don't just give him a moment and then forget about him when he loses the title. Actually start treating your wrestlers and try to structure your product properly, because I just don't like when people sugarcoat it and say, oh, you know, big things are coming, big things are coming. It's not the fact
Yeah.
that we're in the waiting game and everything. It's just you make promises that aren't really kept. So it's like,
Yeah.
at least try a little bit harder with your work, because you have the money, you have the resources. There's no excuse. You're like the biggest wrestling company on the planet. You can give your roster the money they need. You could give them the presentation the way that they need when it comes to music and everything. Actually look into the criticism of the product. Don't feel ashamed just because you're making a lot of money. You have to ignore it. Like actually listen, because things will get better. And that's a lot of it, just like minor things really. And it's like it could easily be fixed if you just take things in account. Like me and Watkins were just talking about what you could potentially do with Austin Theory. It's like we shouldn't have to come up with these ideas. You should be coming up with ideas that make us look stupid. And now it just seems like the fans have better ideas to make an intriguing wrestling show. Just try harder. That's basically what I want.
Yeah, like I don't want to harp on it too much. It's just we just want better in 2026. You know, 2024 was a fantastic year for WWE. 2025 started off, I mean, I remember going off on that Royal Rumble show that we did, and I'm just like, y'all better do something good with Jay. And you guys ended up doing something better than than I was expecting with what you gave me. But yeah, then the rest of the year happened, and it wasn't just Jay I'm thinking about either. It's the whole John Cena heel turn. It's, you know, how Cody was treated, how Drew was treated sometimes. LA Knight, there's that one. But
Another
yeah,
one.
we just want better. Like, that's all. It shouldn't be that hard.
Mhm.
But, you know, as hard as that might be, the hardest thing is to say goodbye, because this is the season finale of season 2 of Weebs of the Ring. So yeah, on Friday for SmackDown, we'll be starting season 3. You know, we'll be upping our game in 2026 as well. We be doing a bit more, you know, short form stuff. So check out all our social medias for all that. And all those links are in the description below. You can check those out. You can also check out me and Drop This Box and Vash at our own personal social media accounts. You can see all those handles on the screen for you. You know, you got Legendary Vash, Drop This Box, Watkins MW, and of course, Animal We Studio, the parent company of Weebs of the Ring, which we're also known as Weebs of the Ring on those social media platforms. We also have a wonderful hashtag of Weebs of the Ring. That's the way that you can interact with us before, during, or after these shows. It's a great way to give us feedback too, because we do listen to you guys and we do try our best to, you know, up our game with every stream, every piece of content that we come out with. And yeah, it's all for you to consume, and we love each and every one of you for consuming what we put out there. So thank you once again for a great 2025. We had some great growth and all that, so just very much appreciate the support and all that. So thank you guys so much. But thank you, of course, as always, for taking time out of your day to listen to the Weebs of the Ring podcast. Again, if you enjoyed what we had to say, hit that subscribe button so you get notified every time we go live or we upload a short or a regular video and all that. Hit subscribe, hit the bell icon, get notified, interact with us. It'll be great. It'll be fun. It'll be fan freaking tastic. But also use that hashtag Weebs of the Ring, as I said, whenever you're posting or talking to or about us. Weebs of the Ring is presented by Animal We Studio. Thanks, of course, to our production team for all of their hard work. Thanks you once again for joining us. And remember, as always, no stunt grannies were harmed in a recording of this podcast. Have a good night, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll see you in 2026 for 3-hour SmackDowns.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun. But Happy New Year's, guys. Enjoy the rest of the holiday season, and we'll see you in 2026. Have a good night.